Your phone buzzes. 6 in the morning. One notification, your banking app. You almost don't look. Rent's due Friday, and you already know the number's going to hurt. You open it anyway. Force of habit. Nothing good ever waits for you in that app. And then the screen just won't stop loading zeros. 1, then 3, then 6, then 9 of them glowing back at you. $244 billion. You laugh because there's nothing else your body knows how to do. It's a glitch. It has to be. Then the name at the top of the account finishes loading, and the whole room goes quiet. A message slides down from the top of the screen. No sender, no name, just words. For the next 24 hours, this account is yours. Anything you buy, you keep. Forever. But at midnight, the account vanishes, and every dollar you didn't spend vanishes with it. No catch you can find. No reason it's you. Just a clock on the wall of your life, already running. 24 hours. The richest account on earth. And somehow, this ordinary morning, it's yours. Your heart is slamming against your ribs because part of you already believes every word. But belief isn't proof. So you start small, somewhere it's safe to be wrong. That phone sitting in your cart for months, the one you could never justify. You hit buy. No error, no decline, just confirmed. Arriving in 1 hour. So you try something you'd never dare in your real life. A car, straight off the screen. Confirmed. It's real. It's actually real. And that clock is already eating into your very first hour. So you stop testing the dream, and you start living all the way inside it. The car you only ever saw parked in other people's driveways. Paid. Yours. The keys in your hand before you've even finished smiling. The penthouse you used to stare up at from the wet sidewalk on your way home. Signed in 90 seconds. The whole top floor. Yours. A jet waiting on the runway so you never wait in a single line again. An island on the other side of the world bought from a photo. A watch worth more than the entire house you grew up in. You buy the restaurant that once turned you away at the door. And you take the best table in the house just because tonight you finally can. You walk into the store that used to follow kids like you around the aisles. You buy the whole store and you tell every stranger inside to take whatever they want. You buy out an entire stadium for the night and you fill every seat with kids who could never afford one. You clear a toy store down to the shelves and send all of it to the children's ward across town. You hand the keys of a brand new car to a man waiting at a bus stop in the rain. For 1 hour, you do the only thing that feels honest all day. You call your 2 oldest friends, the ones who split gas money with you, who knew you back when a good day just meant making rent. You fly them out. No reason, no speech, just the 3 of you laughing at 40,000 feet. And for a few minutes, with all the money in the world, the best thing it buys is something you already had. You throw a party up in the sky. Strangers pour in. Champagne you don't even like. Tonight, everyone knows your name. Tonight, everyone swears they've always been your friend. You've bought a life most people only ever get to imagine. And the account, it's barely even moved. But somewhere in all the noise, something quietly turns. And you feel it before you can name it. It's the way they look at you now. Not like a person, like a door they need to get through. Your phone won't stop. Numbers you've never seen, names you haven't heard since school. Suddenly everyone has a story. A sick mother. A dream. A number that would fix their whole life. Some of it is real. Some of it is a performance. And you honestly can't tell which anymore. A man you've never met calls you his brother. A woman cries, perfectly, exactly on cue. An hour ago, you were invisible. Now you can't even remember what quiet feels like. The money didn't just change your account, it quietly changed every single face that looks at you. Then, a man in a quiet, expensive suit finds you out on that balcony. Calm, certain, patient. He says he can help. Move the money somewhere the clock can't reach it, and you keep all of it. Just sign it over to him tonight, he says, and he'll hand it all back tomorrow. His word. And for 1 long second, you want to. 200 billion. Forever. Who on earth would blame you? But you look into his eyes and you already know the truth. Trust him and you don't keep the money. You just become one more person the money got to. So you say no, and he simply disappears. And in the quiet he leaves behind, it finally lands on you, all at once. You've spent more in one night than you'd earn across 1,000 ordinary lifetimes, and you still haven't even scratched the surface of it. The car, the jet, the island. To this account, all of it together is nothing but spare change. You could buy everything you ever wanted, and it still wouldn't move the needle at all. For the first time in your whole life, having everything feels exactly like holding nothing. Because every dollar so far you spent on the one person who already had more than enough, you. So you stop buying things for yourself, and you finally start spending it on something real. You pull up the hospital that couldn't treat your mom in time, and you pay off every patient's bill inside it. All of them, all at once. There's a kid on the 3rd floor, same age you were when you learned money decides who gets better. You cover all of it, the surgery, the years after, everything, and no one will ever know it was you. Then the town you grew up in, the one that's been drowning in debt as long as you can remember. You wipe it clean. Every mortgage, every loan, all of it gone before they finish breakfast. The single mom 2 doors down from your old place, working 3 jobs and still losing. You paid her house off, her car, her kids' whole future. She'll never find out who did it. The school you went to, falling apart. The shelter downtown, that's always full. The teacher who once told you you'd amount to something back when no one else did. You buy her whole retirement. A veteran outside a store whose card just got declined for groceries. You cover him, and then everyone in the line. A young couple buried under years of medical debt for a baby that finally made it. Gone. All of it. A whole diner full of night shift workers who never get a break. Every tab, every one of them. Paid. You're not buying things anymore. You're buying people back the futures they'd already given up on. You fund all of it, quietly, for years to come. And the messages start rolling in. People crying. People who never once got a single break in their entire lives. And for the first time all day, the number actually starts to drop. Turns out money only ever feels real the moment it lands on somebody who isn't you. And out here, nobody looks at you like a door, because nobody knows it was ever you at all. Then you remember the company you work for, the one that made you feel like you were nothing, the one that never once learned your name. By 9 a.m., you own it. Every desk, every wall, the name bolted over the front door. Your boss walks in to fire somebody this morning, and it's you he's looking for. He doesn't know it yet. The name on the building outside is already yours. You could end him with a single sentence, and part of you really, really wants to, but you don't. You give the whole floor a raise instead, and you let him keep his job, and you watch how fast the people who used to look down on you learn how to smile. By now, the whole world has noticed. Headlines everywhere, fortunes appearing and vanishing overnight, debts erased, hospitals cleared, entire towns set free, and nobody can figure out who's behind it. They're calling you a ghost, a miracle, a myth, chasing a name they are never going to find. And for once, being invisible doesn't feel like a curse. It feels like the entire point. But the clock doesn't care how good any of it feels. 6 hours left, and a list of the world's pain that never, ever seems to end. For every single problem you fix, 1,000 more just scroll past you in the dark. Whole countries, whole crises, things even the richest account on earth can't undo in one night. You can buy anything that exists, but you cannot buy yourself one more minute of time. The most money anyone has ever held, and it still isn't enough to save everyone. 2 hours left, and whatever you don't manage to spend simply disappears. So you stop, you breathe, and you finally ask yourself the only question that ever mattered. With all the money in the world sitting right in your hands, what did you actually want? Not the cars, not the jet, not the island, not your name bolted onto a building. You think all the way back to before any of this, before the number, when you had almost nothing, and you already know the answer. Deep down, you've known it since the very first hour. You open your phone, past the billions, down to one number you've always known by heart. You call home, the people who were right there beside you when your balance was zero. You don't tell them about the money. You don't mention the clock. You just show up at the door. You spend your very last hour with them. No price tag. No countdown running in the back of your head. And somehow it's worth more than every single thing you bought all day combined. Not because giving is some noble thing, but because it was the only thing all day that ever looked back at you. Everything you bought for yourself just sat there in silence. Everything you gave away came alive. 11:59. The phone buzzes one last time in your pocket. Midnight. The account vanishes. $200 billion gone in a single blink. And you're just you again. The same cracked ceiling waiting for you tomorrow morning. But the hospital is still paid. The town is still free. That kid still gets to grow up. Strangers you will never meet wake up lighter this morning, and they'll never once know your face. You didn't buy a legacy with your name on it. You bought 100 quiet mornings exactly like this one. Everything you kept for yourself disappeared. Everything you gave away stayed. You held the richest account on earth for 24 hours, and the only thing you got to keep was what you gave. So tell me, with 24 hours and everything in the world in your hands, what would you actually do?